Hello and welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and today we're going to be doing something maybe as a first for this channel. We're going to be talking about Power Query M, and specifically about building your own custom M library, at least my take on it. Now, first thing you're probably thinking is like, wait a minute, Greg, you're not an M guy, you're a DAX guy. And that is an absolutely true statement. However, the last 9 months, I have picked up a lot more M than I thought I ever would. And that was in writing the book, The Definitive Guide to Power Query M, which, by the way, before we even get started on this, I just gotta share this with you guys. So the sales for the books are off the charts, right? So if we have 1 week's worth of data. So the Definitive Guide to Power Query M sold 88 copies in the first week. And it wasn't even on sale for all of that week. So that's a crazy number. I don't think I've seen any one of my books ever come close to selling 88, books. Probably the closest was when PAC was running a sale. Mastering Power BI sold like 68 copies in a week. So that's a crazy number. So thanks to everybody for your support on the book. It's getting awesome reviews on Amazon. So 10 ratings, it's 4.9. That's by far the highest rating of any book that I've participated in with that many reviews. So huge shout out to the community. Thank you very much. And so anyway, so back to I completely lost where I was. Wasn't this one. It's this one. All right, here we go. So so where this is based on is Oscar Martinez Valero created this PowerQueryFunctions M library, which is really nifty. You should check it out on GitHub. And this is actually based on Injae Park's work on Power Query version control. So you should definitely go out and check out his video and watch his video on that. And I think this all kind of goes all the way back to Kim Burgess, who created kind of the original M library. And I hate, using original. It's always tough to say who invented what in this business. But that seems, I think Injae calls out Kim Burgess, and that's kind of where he, based his video off of some of her work. So anyway, so the concept is, and I cover it and the reason why this is of interest to me is that I actually wrote the last chapter of the book, Enabling Extensions in the Definitive Guide to Power Query M. And in that chapter, I mainly focus on using section documents to create a custom connector, and it actually connects to the Discord API and that sort of thing. But in that chapter, I also, cover how to use section documents to create your own Power Query custom library of functions. Now, and this actually came up actually in Discord channel for the book. Basically, okay, that's great. You can use it to load the extensions, but the organization doesn't permit the setting where you basically what you have to do in Power BI is, if I can bring it up here, you have to enable uncertified connectors, right? You have to go into here, options and settings, options. If it wants to load, and then you have to go to security, and you have to enable the data extensions, not recommended, allow any extension to load without validation or warning, right? Or you have to go through the pain of certifying your connector or signing your connector and that sort of thing, which I did not include in the book because I felt like it wasn't really an M issue, right? It's kind of something that takes place outside of M. There's nothing really about the M language. It's just go get your connector certified or sign it or whatever. And there's instructions online for that stuff. So anyway, so it came up, and so I pointed them to like third trust, how to get their stuff certified, connector signing, and then later on I went and said, okay, here's Injae Park's video, and I probably should have called out Oscar as well on this, but you may be wondering, why is this Mickey Torpedo? The Mickey Torpedo is me. So just briefly, story. Mickey Torpedo, I played bass guitar in an 80s glam band back in the day with full wigs and pleather pants and all that sort of stuff. And my stage name was Mickey Torpedo, and it ended up becoming my Xbox gaming name. So anyway, and I don't know why. And Discord I mainly use it for gaming and that sort of thing. So anyway, Mickey Torpedo, if you see it on Discord, that's me. Just FYI. And so then I go on and kind of gave my take on this, which is what I'm going to cover in this video. Okay, so long story short, um, let's go ahead and get into it. I think that's all the preliminary stuff that I had. All right, so now the normal thing that you do now. The issue is around the shared, is around using the shared keyword. So you can use expression of dot evaluate, and I cover this, and I think it's chapter 7, conceptualizing M, which goes into kind of creating your own global environment and that sort of thing. But basically what the concept is that let's say I have some kind of Power Query library out there, and I created a very simple one right here, mlibrary2.pq, and I could store this as a local file, or I can throw it up in a GitHub repository, right? As long as I access it via raw. So it doesn't come back as an HTML page with all that garbage around it. So basically this has two functions, right? And these are very simple, but they could be as complex as you really want them to be. And it's stored as a record. So by using the square brackets here, that makes this a record as far as M is concerned if it's evaluated using expression.evaluate. So this first one, add one, you just pass a number and it adds one to it. And then number.exp uses takes it to the power of E or whatever it does. Anyway, so you pass a number and it uses, now this one uses an actual core M library function, right? So very simple library. I threw it up in my GitHub repository for Microsoft Hates Greg, and I'm using web.contents to grab it and then convert that to text.fromBinary, and then use expression evaluate around that, and I use shared around it, right? But the problem with this, as Injae covers in his video, is that it won't refresh in the Power BI service. Power BI service, when you use the shared variable, it considers it a dynamic data source. So you get this error, right? You can't schedule refresh for the semantic amount because the following data source don't support it, right? And says the data set includes a dynamic data source, and that's because of the shared keyword, right? So you get this error, you can't refresh the thing. Okay, back to this guy. All right, but so the reason why you have to use shared here is because of that number.exp, that core library function. If we didn't have this here, we would get this error, right? Expression.error, the name number.exp doesn't exist in the current context. Okay, let's put this back the way it was. Back the way it was. All right, and so now if you do have, in this case shared or whatever, the kind of the downside to using this approach versus the section documents, right? If you use section documents, the functions are already instantiated, right? And you can just use them in your Power Query code. For these, you actually have to kind of instantiate the function. So you have to first go down and say add new query, and that adds the function into your environment. And now you can use that function in a separate query if you want to, right? So that's how that works. So you can't really use it until you do that, until it actually becomes a function in your environment. Whereas on section documents, it's already, because it loads up the section document, it's already a function. You can just start using it, and it doesn't have to be up here over here as a function, right? It's just part of your environment. Okay, so we have to get around using the shared environment, and Injae, and Oscar and that, have some really good information on that. Here is my take now, and I don't know if this is going to add anything to the conversation or not, but because I'm a skimmer, right? I skim stuff. I don't really usually read every word of every book or every blog article or watch entire video from, second number 1 into the end. I skip around. I try to pick up like, okay, here's the basic concepts, and then I go off on my own and start experimenting. Okay, so first thing, in order to get around shared, right, you can actually, put in a record number.exp equal number.exp, and then it comes back and it's fine, right? Because now I've told, the global environment that I'm creating through expression.evaluate that anytime you see number.exp, just reference, the core M library number.exp, and away you go. That's how that's done, right? Whether or not it makes any sense or not, too bad, but that's how it's done. So now, I can right click and instantiate these functions just like before, right? So add new query, So there's add one, right? And then I can start using it. So the issue becomes then is well, what do I, what's going to be in every time that I add a function in my library, right? I'm going to have to add, any core library functions in here as a record, and that's a pain, right? So how can we get around that? Well, what I came up with was, well, why not just, and I'll use advanced editor for this, why not just include all of them? So, here's my text.binary, and then here's every core library function, not just core library functions, but also any certified connectors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're all here, right? And they're all in there as a record. So, how do you create something like that? Well, you use M. So here I've got this script, this M script, right? And what it does is it goes out and gets the shared environment, and I have custom connectors turned off, right? I've got not yeah, so it's only certified connectors, your core M library, and I can get the shared environment, I can convert it, to a table. Um, I do some magic here in order to make sure I'm only getting functions, right? So basically I add my custom and make sure return true. I can step through this code actually. So basically convert it to a table, add my custom function, add my custom attribute. So it's only returning true for functions. It's type stuff, and Rick DeGroot does a great job. I think it's in chapter 4 on data types. That's how I learned how to do this. Remove any errors, filter the rows to where it's just, this is just true. And then I can add this custom column where I'm just basically grabbing name, concatenating space equals space, the name again, and a comma, right? And then I can remove all my columns. I can filter the rows so it only has a dot. So I want only functions that have a dot in them. That's explained in the book as well. But anyway, you come back with this table. You can load the table up into Power BI Desktop. You can, now that they fixed it from the March update, you can right-click that table, copy it, and then paste it right into a Notepad. Or that's not it. I don't even know what that is. Something I was messing around with. Oh, it looks like Oscar stuff. Anyway, so you can paste it into this, right? And all you have to do is add a square bracket at the beginning, add a square bracket at the end, remove this comma, copy and paste this as this guy, as that second parameter, right, in the expression.evaluate. So the first one, you're grabbing your custom function library, and then you're pasting this in. So, so if you had this query, right, you could add this query to every one of your anytime that you create a Power BI file, right, you could basically copy and paste this in. And that was the thing that was bugging me about Oscar's approach to this, was that, it required you to copy and paste from the web source. And so I was trying to get where this all really came about was I was trying to get around that. And the unfortunate part is I wasn't able to get around that completely. So for example, I had the thought of, well, what if I take this query right here, and I load this up into another file out there, and that's called M library. That's and I call it like load library or something. So I loaded that up into GitHub, and then I could basically use expression.evaluate, and it'd be a double expression.evaluate, but it doesn't work. And the reason is, so here's that query, right? That's loaded up that I'm retrieving from. In this case, I'm retrieving it from a local file, but it could be a web source. Right, and then I could then just load that with expression.evaluate. It doesn't work because essentially all of these things here, all these functions aren't in context in the global environment for this expression.evaluate. So I'd have to re-add them all. So wasn't able to get around it. Still going to work on this issue. But yeah, so there you have it. I think it's an interesting problem. Obviously, it's something that is important to the community as far as having reusable code. Again, you can do it in section documents. That's all covered in the Definitive Guide to Power Query M. There's this other approach. It's kind of, that doesn't use section documents. that will allow you to refresh in the service. So if you want to see that works. So here's my PQ library no shared, and last refresh succeeded, so no big deal. So yeah, so that works. It's very brute force. It's unfortunate that I haven't been able to find a workaround that doesn't require copying and pasting code. But perhaps if you create a Power BI template file and save that Power BI template file and use that to every time that you create your Power BI desktop file, then you would be able to include this query as part of that template, and then you wouldn't have to copy and paste it all the time. So that's it. That's all I had for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.